How's it going, folks? I'm Mike with the Drone Deer Recovery Podcast. Today, our special guest is Braydon Price. How's it going?
Woohoo. You ready?
I'm ready. We're going to talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, how Braydon got started in the YouTube space, how Braydon has put in a lot of work to grow his channel. We're also going to get into some legal stuff, where I feel like the drone industry in a whole is going. A lot to unpack in this thing. You're not going to want to miss it. Let's get in it. Okay, welcome back to the Drone Deer Recovery Podcast. I'm Mike. This is Braydon. Thanks so much for being here.
Dude, thank you for letting me come.
Oh, yeah, not a problem. It's been a wild day, let me tell you. When I say it's going to be wild, like, I mean that because we just never know what we're going to get into.
How many trips have I made to Ohio? How many trips have we from you came to North Carolina and I've came to Ohio?
I don't know.
There's two here for me.
Two here.
Two here. And then how many do you got to North Carolina?
2 or 3.
Yeah, so like 5 trips?
5 times. Every time it's crazy.
Every time I'm around this guy, it is absolutely nuts.
It is nuts. Now that you bring that up, it's like, it's not just, hey, show up, do this, and then go home. Like, we get into stuff that we had no idea what we're going to get at.
Every single time, and every single time, you bet your butt we don't get more than 4 hours of sleep each night.
True.
2 a.m., you get done at 2 a.m., you go again at 4 a.m.
Yep. You go hard. You go hard. When the getting is good, you got to go.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's been wild. What a wild day today, though. Like,
yeah, I don't know where we'd start with today. I feel like
today.
Okay. To start the podcast off, I feel like we need to introduce how me and you came about.
Oh, let's do that.
And then we need to get into the wildest trip we've done together.
Okay,
I don't know.
So let's back it up a little bit more because a ton of you guys know who Braydon is. He has millions of followers on. Well, do you know the numbers on everything? Like TikTok,
like 2 mil on YouTube, 1 mil on TikTok, 500 on Instagram, something like that.
Good for you, man.
But
like
it's funny because like TikTok, for instance, I don't use TikTok, but the amount of growth you can do on TikTok is nuts.
Dude, it is going nuts for us. So we started blowing up on TikTok. In 3 weeks, we had 70,000 followers. Then we got 3 strikes because we showed dead deer.
That is why I don't use TikTok.
Yeah, and then it just died. Like, but then we didn't post for a while. I was like, okay, screw this. I'm not, I don't want to lose it. And then we quit posting, but now it kind of started coming back. Yeah. And in the last month and a half, we gained another 60,000 subscribers and followers on TikTok. So TikTok's algorithm works. They are just they are babies.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't do nothing cool. When you're talking about TikTok and you're talking about it being in the hunting industry and whatnot, it sucks in terms of you can't post nothing cool. I can't even post like really cool riding clips of like jumping four-wheelers and stuff.
Oh, because it's dangerous.
Because it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's that
dude.
bad.
I've been driving before in my car, and they say doing this act can be dangerous or something.
Like the downright craziest thing. But that's not where we're headed. Let's get back on track.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about TikTok the whole time because I do get on podcasts and we talk about how good it is, but then how bad it can be. Yep. But you've been in the social media game for a long time. Like, when did you start?
So I started when I was 14 or 13. I had multiple channels. I had a channel when I was 6 years old. No, 7, because that'd be like 2007, 2008. I'm a 2000 baby. And so I had a channel like 2007, 2008, something like that, shooting birds with BB guns.
No way.
Of all things. And then in 2010, I started another one. It was like taxidermy or something like that.
What? You did taxidermy?
Yeah. Well, taxidermy in terms of like doing skull mounts for deer and yada, yada, yada. Because back then, a lot of the genres on YouTube, there wasn't much to watch. And so when there's not much to watch and you really want to watch it, you make your own, right?
Yeah.
And then in 2013, I started this channel, started posting on it in 2014, and been at it ever since.
That's crazy. So the content that you usually create is like four-wheeling, off-roading?
Off-road stuff is where it started. I want to say off-road stuff's where it took off. But like hunting and stuff, I've always done videos with hunting, and it's just always been my main passion.
Yeah, and I can tell when we're doing hunting content, it's like you want to do it like
I
really well.
want it to be perfect, But at the end of the day, it's so hard to make perfect because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's
You
just
never
kinda
know what's
out
going to
there.
happen. But kind of like today.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So before we get into what all we got into today, you've been in the social media game for a long time. You've become successful, and a lot of people have been following along. What is the hardest thing to do a YouTube channel? Like, a lot of people are asking me already, right? I'm 80,000 subscribers in. They want to know what they can do to start a YouTube channel. What would you say?
Okay, so if you're looking to start, you're like very own YouTube channel, it's your first YouTube channel ever. At the end of the day, you got to be human. You got to be somewhat relatable, or you got to provide really, really good content.
Yeah.
Especially when you're starting off, you have to stand out, but you don't want to stand out in a way that, let's say, you're posting fake bullcrap content, right?
Yeah.
In your instance, with the thermal stuff, it was something that you paved a road that no one's ever paved before. I was the exact same way when I got into the off-road stuff, because when I started, I was watching moto vloggers is what it used to be, and guys went on supermoto street bikes. They would have a GoPro and they would film going riding down the street. Well, I wasn't old enough to ride on the street, but I wanted to be a part of that community. So I started in the off-road, which just took off, and then I was branched off from dirt bikes to four-wheelers, and that was another genre. There's like two guys in that, older guys, Asta Cruiser and a couple other guys that had the market, but they weren't really making it into like a full-blown thing.
Like a business, basically.
Yeah. And so anyway, when I got into that stuff, it just took off, paved the wave. And
would you say that the market is more saturated? Is it harder now in 2023 to create a YouTube channel that goes viral?
Yes, it is. And YouTube in general, the whole. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. Now, if you can find a market that no one else is doing and you truly have a passion for it,
you
got it. Just so like you with the drums.
Yeah, so it's a niche. Like it's something that really hasn't been done yet, and then you have the passion to do it. Like, I was just listening to Casey Neistat was doing a podcast, and he's talking about, like, he's watching this guy read these old books or something like that he's interested in. And he said that guy has 200,000 followers of people that are interested in that specific content.
Really?
Like, and he said it's so, like, it's not interesting.
If you are interested in it,
Somebody
there's a
else
majority of other people that will be.
Absolutely.
And like for you instance, dude, what you started, you can just look at where it's gone already.
Yeah.
Dude, you got what, 75,000 subs? And look at all the channels other people
Just
doing it
spidered
now,
out.
because they seen you and they're like, holy cow, that is cool.
Like,
I want to
could
do that.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is crazy how quickly people, I mean, when I make my YouTube videos, I talk about, buying the equipment that you can get on dronederecovery.com/shop. Like, you can buy all this stuff.
Yeah.
But where we are trying to be different than everybody else, obviously we were the first to the market, but is create entertaining content and high quality content when we're producing it. Everybody else that spiders off of that, I believe that there will be people that do that, but it's really hard. This is hard. Like, we go hard. Like, you talk about it like all the time, like how busy I am. I am that busy.
Oh, yeah. 24/7.
But you have to, just like you, when you were starting out your channel, I bet you grinded hard. Like, you had to produce content.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, I'm at a stage on my channel now to where, like, it's more relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to post 3 videos a week. But I've done every day, every other day. I've done every other day. I did that for like 4 years.
Jeez.
2, 3, 4 years. And then I've had months where I did every single day. So my dialed back is like three a week. Sometimes it does get hard. Right now during hunting season, it's hard. But
you're on the road a lot, hunting.
But when you're starting and when you're on that grind and you're actually getting that growth, it consumes you.
Yep.
Does it not?
Oh yeah, we're there right now.
Oh yeah.
Like, it motivates you, right?
Yep.
You see the growth, so you're motivated to keep going, but then you don't want to let off, because if you let off, then it might slow down. And so it's a circle that we want to grow, and it consumes you, like you're saying. But it's been wild for sure, dude. It's a huge honor. to have somebody like yourself reach out to me because, like, no, seriously, like, you reached out to me, and no offense to you, like, you said, hey, let's do something.
Yeah.
And you DM me, and I was like, what do you do? I didn't even know what it is that you do. I had, like, 9,000 subscribers or something like that.
See, that's
but,
like the first month you started.
Yeah.
But that's the amount of people you were reaching so quick because the stuff is insane what you're doing.
Yeah, so the subscribers wasn't as high as my actual like views. Like views was through the roof in January. So I started the channel in October, and in January I had 5 million views. Yeah. Like without posting a ton of content. Yeah. So a lot of people were seeing, they weren't necessarily subscribing. Mm-hmm. But then having somebody like yourself that's in the YouTube game reach out to a young creator, like that means a lot. So for me, or from me to you, thank you for doing that, because it then catapults you. It keeps pushing you to those audience that,
100%.
like yourself.
100%.
You know, you're telling them, would you go over to subscribe to them?
But it's funny because a lot of the channels and most of the people that I'm really close friends with, they started a channel. Peter, for example, Kendall Gray. I mean, Kirk. There's a bunch of people that I could start naming off. They started a channel, and I seen them. I'm like, that dude is cool. Like, that is a cool guy. And it's like, I got to reach out. And nothing to do with YouTube, more so just hang out, do what we're doing, have a good time. Yeah. And that's basically what filming is having a good time.
Having a good time and being real.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, there's times when we stage some videos. You're going to want to check out today's video. It's going to be wild. But it's for entertainment purposes. Like, I got just ripped the other day about shooting the drone out of the sky. Like, it was more of a public announcement. Like, you can't do this. And people ripped me for that. But it's like, I want to be creative and I want to be entertaining. So if all the stuff that's going on in the world, I want to just make something that you kind of forget for a little bit, like what's going on
100%.
Well. But and then being real as well with time, like certain videos.
So going back onto your shooting the thermal drone down, so I seen your response. I can't remember. Was it a TikTok? I think it was a YouTube video. Was it a short YouTube video, or was it a podcast?
Well, we did shorts and a long.
I seen something about. You responding to all the haters on that. Yeah. I don't know if I ever got around to watching the video that you're referring to in those videos, the video of you shooting the drone down or whatever. But at the end of the day, dude, it's like people got to understand, like, it's all entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, it's entertainment. Like, there's days where I don't want to get up and film. But, dude, it's like, I want to make a video for everybody, so I'll put that smiley, happy face on, and we're going, baby.
We're going hard.
When you film every day, every other day, I mean, you know what it's like. It is just a grind. Absolutely. It wears you out. Yep. And so it's like, but at the end of the day, you want to do it for your subscribers. Absolutely. You want to please them, get them their content, and let them enjoy it.
Yep. So have you always been into hunting? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you've been
I shot my first deer when I was 5. I mean, from the time I got spankings in the stand when I was a toddler, you know, I've been there, all of it.
Huh. So as far as creating content, did you create YouTube or hunting content right away on YouTube? Okay.
Yeah, nice. As soon as I had a camera to film hunting content, I was filming it.
Nice.
Whether I was posting the content, I mean, I was 12 years old with a little $100 camcorder filming deer, you know. Yeah.
And did you learn everything on your own, how to run cameras, or did somebody teach you?
Camera gear, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's the funniest thing. If you guys see all the moto vlogs and things, you're more of a hunting based channel, but I'm reaching out to the off-road guys right now. Yeah. All the chin mounts, right? Cameras on the helmet, yada, yada, yada. I remember when I was 10 years old, I took a camcorder and duct taped it onto my helmet.
What?
Yeah. Like, I was that wanting to figure it out, yada, yada, yada. Ended up getting a GoPro, built a custom mount to mount the camera to my chin because that's the best angle. It's the closest to your eye. The under the visor's too high. Down here is about perfect. It puts it more in line of what you're trying to look at. Yeah. And no one had it figured out. No one had a mic setup figured out. As soon as I made like my first check or two, dude, I blew like $3,000 on just the most random mics, trying to figure out the perfect mic setup for my helmet. And I'm talking about from $10 mics to $200 mics, $500 mics, $25 mics, $40 mics, bought them all.
Oh.
And I ended up landing on like a $40 mic, and to this day, it's the exact mic everybody uses.
No way.
Oh yeah, no
Oh
one
my
uses
gosh.
nothing different.
That's great. But you had to go through them to figure out what.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what's crazy? Hearing you say that, like what you tried to make. When I was a young Amish boy, my dad bought me my first handheld. It's a Handycam where you put a tape in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had those when I first started.
I forget
like,
you're that old sometimes.
Yeah. Wow. How old are you?
23. You're 32.
Yep, I'm 32.
Okay,
Yep,
got it
you're
right.
23.
You're
I
here.
forget.
You're sitting here talking about what's that little tape stuff called?
Tape stuff. I'm not sure.
Maybe we're thinking about two different things.
No, so like a cassette tape would go inside
Yeah.
the Handycam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad bought me one of those. That was before GoPros, and I would try to figure out how to mount that to my bow. So
Really?
Yeah. So I had a local shop build this thing that pinched onto it and had bolts and nuts and stuff. Now you go to Amazon and get this grippy thing. You pop it on.
Everything.
Dude,
is it not crazy what it all stems from the internet?
Yeah.
It all stems from social media.
Yeah.
All of it stems because now everybody, even when it comes down to like fishing, back in the day you had to figure it out. Now you just look up a YouTube video and see what everybody's doing.
Yep.
You know, what plugs people are using, what rigs they're using. Everything's on the internet, and it is so easy to figure out what works.
Yep.
You skip the trial and error crap. Now, I miss the trial and error stuff because nowadays it's like everything is almost a little too easy. If you can afford it, it's easy.
I feel like we're in that kind of era right now with these thermal drones and drone technology in general. Like, yes, we've heard of drones. We've had, drones to video things and that type of thing, but they are becoming straight up tools. Like, they will be used in every industry, I would say, in some way.
Yeah.
Like, there's a dude that called me, and I don't want to get carried away on it at this podcast because we've already talked about it, but he's in the roofing industry. When he seen me lift that deer up, he was like, how can I use this drone to get shingles on top of a roof? But think about it. Like, there's so many things, like in construction, if you got to take heavy beams or heavy whatever and take it down the road, how easy would it be to hook a drone to it, fly it down there?
Straight there.
I'm telling you, I truly do believe that the drone industry is going to continue to blow up. I actually looked up a statistic a few days ago, and we are literally just starting. They are saying that the drone industry in the next, was that 10 years, Kevin? That it's going to grow 20%? In the next 5 years. They're saying that it's going to continue to compound 20% growth every year because they're turning into tools. And that's like this technology, the thermal technology, just getting the capabilities that you have now on your drone that we gave to you. Like, it's going to get better, but
you think about where we're at now because it all started from just having a little camera, right?
Yep.
And they started with those big Phantom 4s or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
And they were big and bulky, and then they shrunk down and got real small with the cameras and the high HD cameras. And now they're going back bigger in a sense to be able to perform these tasks because they've seen how vital they were.
Yep, exactly. And that's why you were getting into the agricultural side. You got bigger drones for that, but they're so capable. People think like, oh, these drones can't spray tons of acres. I'm telling you, they can spray tons of acres, but you just need to learn how to use them efficiently.
Well, not only that, but think about how safe they are. No longer putting a human life in danger flying a helicopter or plane spraying these crops.
Exactly.
Is that not like that's a no-brainer in itself?
Yep.
100%.
And I feel that some of this is going to be pushed from the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Think about how much they're paying out. And the insurance companies are there to make money. I mean, they might pay you a settlement, but truly they're there to make a profit.
Yeah.
And if they see what these drones can do, they're going to push their premiums so high that helicopters, airplanes won't be able to do these things and just put a UAV up there. Let it do its thing.
And it's almost crazy because those helicopter guys and those plane guys, they feel as if the drone industry is going to take away from them. And in a sense, it's a possibility. But
just get into it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The dog guys are feeling the same way when it comes to the thermal drones.
Yep.
And it's like, look, if you want to use a dog by all means. But at the end of the day, there's some situations a dog could be better. Yep. There's definitely situations where a dog's better than a drone.
Yeah.
If you got a hot day, thick cover, thick canopy, where the dog's probably going to outperform. But when there's no leaves on the trees or even slight leaves, dude, it's hard to beat a drone.
It sounds like you did some homework yourself. Are you getting this just based on watching the channel, or did you like?
Dude, I get it from watching you. How many times have I watched you recover an animal already?
I'm sure it's been a lot. But
I've watched you recover animals in the thickest of canopies. I've watched you recover animals in the most open of canopies. I mean, the amount of stuff I've watched you personally do, it's mind-boggling the amount of information you can take in from that.
It's good that you're saying that, because we got, in the beginning, this season, there were, people doing thermal drone deer recovery, and they reached out to us and tried to say we're out for a cash grab. We're just there to take your money, because he was flying in very thick canopy, and he didn't find the deer, and then a dog comes in and then finds the deer like a little bit later.
It's like, okay, you should have hired a dog if that's how you feel.
But he was trying to say that we don't tell them all the truth. I totally tell the people.
Yeah.
Like, there are situations that a dog might be better. But when you ask me when the leaves are off or when they're drying up, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be better than a dog. That's just it. Now, a dog guy, let's say you're a dog guy, you're going to sit there, you're probably going to say the same thing. Because if you wouldn't, then why are you doing it? Like, you only do what you think is best. So
100%.
Why would you say that? Well, I'm not going to find them all, and I'm just not that good with my dog. You wouldn't do that.
Yeah. But it's so funny, because at the end of the day, these dog guys, they're doing it for their dog.
Yeah.
Right? So they fear that the drone market's going to take away from them. And at the end of the day, will it? Dude, the amount of recoveries you've been doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the amount of recoveries that have to be performed, because at the end of the day, I mean, people are going to make mistakes hunting. They're going to make bad shots, and that number's going to surprise you every time. Every time. You had a uh-oh this morning.
Yeah, I did.
It happens to everybody.
It's embarrassing. I am a guy that hit a doe in the gut this morning. For some reason, I stuck my crossbow out, and when those limbs opened, it just nicked the corner of that window, bumped that bow. Well, that threw the arrow back 10 inches, right through the gut.
And so at the end of the day, it's going to happen. And the amount of people that need this help, it's not going to hurt nobody having a drone or being a drone guy or a dog guy.
Yeah, or having both. If you love a dog, have your dog and have a drone, because there's guys doing that already.
100%.
Yeah, why not?
100%.
I couldn't agree with you more. Totally. So do we want to get right into what it was that we were doing this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. So
you start it, dude. I don't know where to start.
So we actually we had a decent buck showing up on our camera. We call him Benny Brow Buck, and I mentioned something to you about coming up and seeing if we can get Benny Brow Buck. And we have a doe problem on our land. And I asked you if you wanted to shoot a doe, and you were like, sure. So
don't tell me to not shoot something.
Yeah, right.
You tell me to shoot something, it's gonna get shot.
We went out this morning, and like we just said a little bit ago, I ended up hitting one in the back. You shot one, 30 minutes before I did? Yep. Just smoked it. Unfortunately, mine needed some time to expire, and we end up flying your drone to the butcher.
Yeah. We flew the deer with the ag drone all the way to the butcher. Not crazy?
Make sure to watch the full video.
Yeah, watch the full video.
It was wild.
Quite the experience. But let's back up in that story.
Yeah. Okay.
So talking about how vital these drones are, there was 2 deer down on the same property.
Yeah.
Within 1 minute, 60 seconds of that drone taking liftoff, from the time that drone took liftoff, not only did we find my deer, but we found yours.
Yeah. True.
In 1 minute. When the canopy,
no, I'm telling you.
When
the canopy is off, it's game over.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Dig a hole and crawl into it?
Oh, that being said, we'll get there. Did you lead into that? We're not going there right away.
Oh, we can wait on that one.
Okay.
We can wait on that one.
Nice. What was the other thing I was going to ask you? Oh, doggone it. It slipped my mind. You got anything good to add to that?
Add to the story of this morning?
Yep, this morning.
Yeah, so let's backtrack just a second. When we say a full canopy and saying the drones are less efficient with a full canopy, when we say they're less efficient, if you find that animal, I mean, you're still going to be impressed. Like when we shot that pig, I looked up and I go, no, not happening, Mike. I mean, it was thicker than the ceiling. I mean, it's just that. Yeah,
he
good
was,
luck, buddy.
Yeah, he was not convinced. He was just kind of like shooting around.
How long did it take you to find that pig in that thick canopy?
What was that, 10, 15 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
If the animal's dead, odds are you're going to find it, even with a thick canopy.
Yep.
But in a situation where you have a thick canopy and let's say it is sunny out, everything's done warmed up, you're probably going to best bet to get a dog.
Yeah. You can't do thermal drones when the sun is out.
No.
Like, there's going to be some guys on here that, no, I found it with the sun out. Okay, you may find one or two, but to be really, really good at it, it's not a really good idea.
If the canopy is not super thick and it's an overcast day, thermals are good, you can every single time 100% say, yep, that deer's not dead. Can you not? Yep, that deer is not within this 1,000 acres.
Yep, exactly.
Or 1,000 yards of here.
Yeah, so that's what I go on. It's based on 1,000 yards. It's usually what I go off on. There's going to be dog guys that'll tell you, well, I found a deer a mile away, which that's true. But I feel that a deer just naturally doesn't want to walk a mile if he's gut hit.
How far did your doe go this morning, gut shot doe?
Probably when she bedded down what was that, maybe 130, 40 yards?
I wouldn't have guessed that much.
Yeah,
But
from the impact, maybe 100 yards.
My buddy gut shot a 153-inch buck in Missouri with his bow. Clean gut shot. I mean, the deer bedded down within 70 yards.
Yeah.
A gut shot deer is going to be dead by morning, typically, I feel like.
Okay, I'll add a story. Go ahead.
There's that deer that we found the next morning. I mean, if you give them 24 hours on a gut shot deer, I'm saying they're dead. But when you're talking like 12 hours, I feel like you probably know more about it. From what I've seen, but typically I feel like if you don't go and bump that deer, it's going to be dead in its first bed, and it's going to be within 150 yards of where you shot it. That's how I feel.
That's what I thought too.
Really?
But this year we have found more bucks that were gut shot that went farther. But there's situations that's making them go farther.
Coyotes bumping them, people tracking them.
The rut has a huge thing to do with it. Yes, their testosterone stuff is up. I found a buck with its guts hanging out. It was hanging out that far.
I remember you telling me that.
8 inches. I found him right away. He bedded down in that first 70 to 100 yards.
Yep.
He bedded down. I found him. I was like, we just got to give him time, right? We got to come back. Give it 24 hours. We come back 24 hours later. That deer is now another 100 yards from there, standing in water with its guts still out. Still alive, 24 hours later. Then I come back again to look for him. He went from there. He got bumped. He went from the river 800 yards. Yep.
After 24 hours of being gut shot?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Went 800 yards, so I was like, okay, we got to just leave him there. We left him there, came back again, could not find him. He went another 600 some yards and then died. So,
but he did die. It took how many hours?
We don't know the exact hours, but I believe it was between 48 and 70 hours. Yep.
On a gut shot
I went
deer.
back there 3 times.
Was it a bow gut shot?
A bow, yeah.
2-inch rage, big cutter.
Yep. So but see, there's so many different
variables
scenarios.
of what it could hit.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't know how much intestine or gut it actually cut. Because when the arrow went out, he said he hit a limb and it kicked the arrow up in the back and it went into the stomach and then down out of the stomach and so it just fell out. So we don't know how much of that was actually cut.
Well, I shot a deer back and low. 4 inches behind the heart, maybe an inch or two low, and it cut one lung. I mean, probably got half the broadhead, half of a 2-inch rage. So we honestly probably did get a 2-inch cut on the bottom side of one of the lungs.
Yeah.
That deer went 800 yards, found him the next day.
Yeah.
I mean.
Dead.
He was dead, but he went every bit of 800 yards.
So I'm actually going to get a respiratory guy on this podcast that understands lungs, because we talk about lungs a lot when we're deer hunting, and he has these lungs broken down like how a lung works. Because dude, I found a buck that was double long shot, ran 130 yards. The guy gave him 5 hours, walked in up on the deer. Deer gets up, runs away. The reason we know it's a double long shot is the next day I found it. He kept bumping it. He was like, okay, whatever, I'm quitting. Like, I'm not going to keep doing this.
Get the drone out.
Yep, get the drone out. Now he only went 20, 30 yards from where he stopped last. But who knows how far he would have went if he would have kept doing it. Gutted it, pulled it out. He sticks his his fingers into the holes. In
the lungs.
In the lungs, and it went through the liver. But the buck was rutting. I'm telling you, there is something.
So you're thinking when these deer are jacked up on testosterone, chasing these does, they're just different tanks, different animals.
It has something to do with it.
I could believe it. I could see it.
I think that when they're that hyped up, it's not like, okay, let's just bed down, try to get this done or get better. It's they just want to keep going. Yeah. I think so.
That's weird.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just telling you, like, so many people ask me, like, what type of trends are you seeing? There is no trend. And you're going to see with the drone that you got from Drone Deer Recovery, you're going to see things that you're just like, what the same hell? Like, how's this deer still doing this?
Yeah.
I think so. Now, see, it might be different down there. Your deer aren't as big and heavy as our deer.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah, you shot You shot a big doe this morning.
The doe I shot this morning, I mean, that doe had to be, how much would you guess?
I'd say 125.
I'd go 140 to 150.
No way.
That's what I would have guessed.
We should have waited.
That doe with guts in was as big.
Oh, guts in. Okay.
Oh yeah, guts in. Yeah. That doe was as we don't gut our deer, dude.
I can't believe that. You said you don't gut deer. You take them straight to the butcher like that.
When we quarter deer, we don't even gut them.
What?
We'll get into that later. I know a lot of you guys probably do this. It's weird because back home nobody guts them. They'll take them to the processor with the guts in, or when we process them ourselves, we're hanging them. We'll just drop the gut sack down a little bit so we can get to the inner tenderloins. Never drop the guts out.
What?
Yep. I mean, the only thing you're missing out is rib meat.
Just because they're light or what?
Yeah, there's no rib meat on our deer. So, I mean, we get everything, but we never drop the guts out.
That's why I missed that one. Well, okay, it was a bad shot. I'll take it. But I missed one in North Carolina.
Yep.
But I thought it was a baby.
Yep. We were seeing this doe, full-grown doe in front of you on the trail cam. I'm thinking, why ain't he shooting? And I text you. The doe walks out and said, why didn't you shoot? And he's like, it was a baby, wasn't it? That's a full-grown doe, dude. The yearling that I seen today was dang sure the size of our full-grown does.
Crazy.
I mean, I just couldn't believe it.
It has to do with food or what?
I think the cold weather. I feel like, I don't know. It does get colder up here in the harsh winter.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, it comes down to
how rich the minerals are up here.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I would have guessed
That's
it was
crazy.
the cold
You
weather.
talk about how rich the minerals are.
And in the Midwest, then you do it home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say how rich the minerals are, that's crazy because I found a 200-inch deer in an area, and I'm not quite giving it away where the area was, but it was in Ohio that I would have never thought that there's 200-inch deer. Really? No crop fields. Who knows how far away?
My buddy in West.
And he's convinced that the deer drinks orange water.
Really?
Yeah, and that's why he got big.
So my buddy in West Virginia, it's all hardwoods. Sorry, Kirk, I'm breaking some secrets here. There's some giants running around West Virginia.
No way.
And I'm like, dude, it's just all hardwoods. There's no ag, no nothing for these deer to get a ton of protein. And there's giants. There's 160s running around. I mean, his buddy shot a 180s buck with his bow.
Just in hardwoods.
Now back home in North Carolina, we got lolly pine trees. I don't know, something like that.
Pine tree.
We got pine trees. It's all just timber country. In my area that we hunt, there's no ag, so we got pine straw and some acorn trees, and a crap ton of corn out of a bag. But we can grow 140s, but that's where we about max out at.
No way.
You don't see a lot of clay up there.
Well, towards the hunting lease.
What has clay to do with it?
Yeah, I don't know if clay.
As far as how rich the soil.
So you're saying they lick the soil or what?
So there's minerals in the dirt. So there's some spots up by my hunting lease where they have dug out, I guess you'd call it, we call it the pits, where they dig out the dirt and go use it for building highways and stuff. And from what I've heard, just rumor has it, a lot of big deer get seen in those areas, and a lot of people believe it's because they're eating the minerals in the dirt.
So that could make sense what the guy was saying when we found this 200 dent. Like,
yeah.
I felt bad because we were laughing. I was like, there's no way. Like,
yeah.
And he's so dead serious. He's like, no, Mike, it's the orange water. I'm like,
it's the weirdest thing what deer will go to, because like in our timber country, what we have is, 100 acres will get cut at a time. After 30 years, the pine trees are full grown. The skidders will come in. They'll harvest all the trees, cut them all down, haul them all out. And a lot of times they'll just leave their big skidders and equipment sitting there.
Yeah.
I've watched deer go up to these skidders, these big machines, and just lick the grease off of them.
What?
Promise you.
What?
I've seen it with my eyes. They will just go up and start licking the grease like it's a salt lick or something. Don't know what about it makes them do that, but I've seen it. I've seen groups of 10 does go and do it.
No way.
Stand around them for 30 minutes just licking the dang thing. I swear. I'm telling you that there's a lot to learn about deer. But I've seen stuff that's just, I don't really know how to explain it, but
that's what I'm saying. You're gonna see deer do deer things that you didn't know. Like, I didn't know a deer, when they are tired, like, they will literally lay flat down like they're dead. Like, I have literally seen, I'm like, oh, there's a dead doe, and then a little bit later, picks his head up. Like, I never knew that.
Yeah, I've
I
never
also
seen
didn't
that.
know that they lay like dogs at times, where they two legs out front just chilling.
seriously.
Yeah. Like, it's
No
crazy.
way.
Like, but you don't see that.
No.
Like, you often see them on their feet or bedded up, like, like they're trying to hide or
Well,
something.
you think about what the drones have been able to do in terms of just being able to learn about deer, being able to just like you're saying. I mean, all the things you can learn is awesome.
Yeah, like the herd analysis. Like, I announced herd analysis. Like, we'll come out and we'll count your deer. Never once did I think that it's going to blow up what it did. Like, we were doing,
People
like,
wanna know.
biologists, like wildlife biologists, they wanted to use the technology. You good there, bro? Like, Kevin's over here running around, tripping and almost falling. But biologists, they want to use this. They call it more a deer census. I don't know what the difference is, but they call it a deer census. But the technology, what you can use, even if you don't want to use it to recover a deer, just from a management standpoint, just totally makes sense. I believe, and I'm throwing this out there, and I put it on a couple of my videos, I believe that this technology the price will come down even a little bit more. It'll make it affordable that almost everybody that is a pretty serious deer hunter will own a thermal drone. Maybe not, like, you might not be allowed to use it to recover your deer, but you're going to use it to find poachers or trespassers on your property, or, find waterways. Like, you've seen, there's areas like you can
The
find
things you
water.
can find and see on the drones.
Exactly.
So I want to get into the conversation of where you're going with it. Like you just said, one day you might not be able to recover your deer. I want to get into that conversation here in a second, but let's wrap up what we did today.
Let's do it.
With the ice bath.
Oh,
and
it
the
was an ice bath.
hiding.
Okay, so I'll start it off. We did a video with you in North Carolina.
Yep.
We hauled a hog out with the T40.
Flew it out.
Yep.
Pretty wild.
Yep. We flew it out. And in that video, I told you if your subscribers come over, what was it? We said get us to
55,000 subs, which was like 30,000 subscribers, and I think it was 20 or 30,000 likes. That's it.
It was 30,000 likes. Yeah, so you got us to the subscribers. You were a little short on the likes.
I know. I was so upset. I was like, "Dadgummit, are you kidding me?" I was about to start making all my email accounts and just hitting the like button.
So tell me the rest. What happened here about? No, it's now an hour and a half ago.
Well,
you said you had no idea. Like, I felt like you guys were on to us.
well,
like
I felt like you're a great dude. Let's be real. I wouldn't be hanging out with you if you weren't great.
Thank you.
And I felt like you were going to do something with the drone. I feel like you dropped some hints. And I was like, yeah, we'll see if we get one. Yeah. But I had no idea what you had in store.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of idiotic crap is that?
Okay.
So
okay, no,
we
tell
gotta get into this.
Yeah.
This is whew. So Mike comes to me, takes off my shirt, puts a mic on me. You didn't actually take off my shirt.
Yeah.
I think it was actually Kevin.
Kevin
but
was
Mike's
like,
me up, and I'm like, oh gosh, what are we doing? Because we're about to drive to Iowa, and anyway, he walks me outside, and here comes this big ag drone with a present. I was like, okay. I ripped the envelope off that you had me. I was like, okay, we're about to do a scavenger hunt or something.
and on the bottom of the present
weird.
was an envelope.
Yep, and I open it. It's like, all right, if you want this drone, you better ask Mike what I got to do.
Yeah.
What I had to do, Mike?
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I wanted to give you your gift.
Yeah.
But
You wanted me to.
yeah, so because you didn't get us to 30,000 subscribers, there was a little catch.
Yeah.
And the
always
catch was we had custom trunks made for you.
Custom, actually, like really custom swimming trunks.
Where are
Go,
they at?
they're soaking wet. Go find them.
Yeah.
We gotta have them for the story.
You know, so we had custom trunks made
Yep.
for you with drone deer recovery and your face on it. And the catch was that if you want the drone, we're willing to give it to you, but if you want it, you got to jump into the pond.
I feel like there's so much talking we can do.
Yeah.
When I told you right after you said that a week ago, I had hypothermia. Dude, I am not lying when I said I had hypothermia.
Do you have this on video? Like, are we going to see it one day?
It was so serious.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
here's
there
the
they
swimming
are.
trunks. They are definitely. They're cold too. We got that camera guy.
Are you getting it? Look
We
at
got
that.
it.
How cool.
Ooh, baby. That's what I'm
Gee.
talking about. Anyway, when I say, what was I saying? When I say I had hypothermia,
Yeah.
so we're chasing mountain lions in New Mexico. When this cat ends up getting ran by the hounds for 10 miles.
What?
We dropped down in this big canyon. We needed rappelling gear to get down this joker. I don't know how we did it without it. By the time we got down there, I was soaking wet. Girlfriend shoots this thing with her bow. I proposed to her.
Congratulations.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a good video. And anyway, we filmed everything. But I was soaking wet and freezing to death at the bottom of this canyon. And I wasn't really letting them know, but I was like, guys, I don't know if I'm going to make it out of here, but yada, yada, yada. Well, we're like, all right, let's build a fire. Let's take a back strap out of this mountain lion, and let's cook it over the fire.
No.
So we built a fire. I'm literally stripping, drying clothes out. And I finally think I'm dry enough to get out of there. It's probably like 10 degrees. That morning when we started hunting, it was 2 degrees. Snow on the ground, everything. Deep down in this canyon. It's cold. There's no wind, luckily. And the sun is dropping drastically.
Sounds
and
scary.
so we get done, and I'm dried out. So I'm thinking, I'll get out of this thing. I won't die today. And somehow, some way, I don't think I got my inner layers dried out enough. And before I know it, trying to get up this canyon, I started to freak out. Not really freak out, but I started to realize, like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
No way.
And I'm telling Kirk, the guy I'm hunting with, I'm like, dude, I'm out of shape. I'm fat. I could probably do this, but I'm cold, and I'm getting a little worried.
No way.
Because I was soaking wet, and it was 10 degrees.
Could you see how concerned he was?
I wasn't there. But
Yeah, Bree was there.
Kirk was.
Could you tell he was freaked out?
Kirk said we played it up
Oh, yeah.
to get him to go up the hill.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
We knew it was in a bad situation, but we didn't want Braydon to know how bad it was.
It was really bad because, like, we haven't even made it up this. I'm talking about we had a long way to go, and I'm already thinking there's no way. I got to the point I was so cold that I couldn't tell you how cold I was. I was so cold, I did not know how cold I was. But the scariest thing was is I kept trucking, and I might have to stop every 10 yards and take a breather and try to get my balance and everything back to go the next 10 yards up this mountain. But once my head, and I noticed I started losing body function, and I was like, that's a little weird. And I started to, but what got me is when my head started playing tricks on me. Couldn't see straight, going cross-eyed, getting wobbly, just frozen.
Oh, you were
dude.
hypothermic.
Oh, 100%. And there's one point we get up this real steep part, and I'm just like, I can't go no further. And Bree comes, and she's trying to warm up my fingers, and my fingers were like glass. If I flicked my fingers like that, I swear they would have broke off. Finally got my fingers. Once my fingers started hurting because they were so cold, I knew that I wasn't going to lose them because they were warming up.
Yeah.
And anyway, like all the symptoms of hypothermia, other than dying.
Oh,
About to puke just from being so cold, lightheaded, about to pass out. And luckily, the guys drug me up like the last 100 yards of the mountain, but it was close. So, back to where we're leading
you
with
were
this.
scared. You were truly scared.
Everybody was.
I had no idea.
Yeah. A week goes by. Here I am in Ohio. You want me to go jump in the pond in the middle of December.
Yep.
That pond water was
Brutal cold.
Yeah.
But you weren't going in there by yourself.
No.
So when I planned this thing, I had no idea that you are such a negotiator. Like, you wanted to negotiate your way for me to get in there with you, or
It didn't start as that. It was
Yeah.
negotiating my way out of the pond, but then he said, you're going in the pond before
Yeah,
the video's
I
over.
was
So I had to
not-
negotiate you into it.
Yeah, I was not gonna not let you go in there. But then I'm gonna throw this on Kevin, because Kevin, here's the deal. Like, he made so I could not find you with your with my thermal drone. You basically negotiated that you're gonna go hide, and if you hide from the thermal drone, then you don't have to jump in.
Yeah, if you can't find me with the
then,
thermal
like,
drone.
my counter was that, okay, you're still going in. Like, I don't want to, but I will take it with you that if I can't find you, then I go in as well.
the freezing cold pond.
Yeah. But I couldn't find you, but it was because of Kevin.
There it is.
Yeah, because of Kevin. Like, here's the deal. Like, when you are buried,
I wasn't buried.
Kevin couldn't even find you.
Dude, I had leaves on top of me and maybe a few rocks and tinfoil wrapped around me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I wasn't buried. It was pretty dark in there, but I wasn't buried.
But there was nothing for me to find you. You were buried.
You
Anyhow, we end up getting into the pond.
Yeah.
Brutally cold.
Yeah.
You were scared because of how cold you were a week before. Had no idea that this even happened.
Oh, yeah. When I told you I about died of hypothermia, I wasn't kidding.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe that.
And,
but you did get in there.
You
and
got in there. You took the leap of faith and was the first one in.
I
so
did. Yep.
It would have been, but you kind of made me a little nervous when you're like, if you can't swim well, don't get in there.
It was brutal. I was concerned. You
Yeah.
can swim well, or I think you would have went to the bottom.
Well, the thing is that water was so cold. When you jumped into that pond, typically, like, you hold your breath and you got some buoyancy.
Yep.
It was just gone. It was just, you're sinking rock.
Kevin got in there and he couldn't get up fast enough. He's like,
I remember coming up gasping for air, and it's like, okay, I literally took a breath 5 seconds ago,
Yep.
but it's just it takes it out of your lungs,
it is
and it makes you
nuts.
it makes you so unbuoyant. You're just a rock. And I never would have thought about falling into cold water and not having your buoyancy because of that.
Yeah. Did you
I mean,
even
that
hit
makes
bottom?
you. Oh, dude, I hit bottom. In the video, it looks like I was underwater for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It felt like a lifetime. I mean, it was. I thought I was like, okay, he wasn't lying. I'm gonna die.
It was bad, but you did it, and you got your own thermal Matrice 30T.
Dude, I'm so stoked. We could have used that thing so many times in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it downright is a game-changing lifesaver.
Yeah, I say that a lot on my videos. Like, this is game-changing. This technology is game-changing. But it truly is. Like, how we do carcass recovery is going to be forever changed in the industry, even if there are companies out or states out there that want to outlaw it. Like, that's just completely stupid. We're going to get lobbyists and we're going to fight against it because it is a great tool for a sportsman to be allowed to use this.
At the end of the day, now we're getting into that topic I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
At the end of the day, the way I look at it is they put laws and restrictions on everything. You cannot just come out and outright ban drones because they have such a great use in this industry. It keeps so many hunters from losing their animals and all them animals going to waste.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, you're talking about hundreds upon hundreds of deer rotting in the woods and never being found because the law says you can't.
Yeah.
And wounded deer too. I mean, same thing. Them deer suffering. And it's like, at least if you fly up, And, sometimes when people shoot a deer and they think it's a bad shot, I know people that want to go look.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that make a bad shot on a deer and not even go look. I mean, it's just, it boils down to ethics and respect for the animal and respect for what that animal's going to provide you. You want to do everything in your power to retrieve that animal.
I couldn't agree more.
And-
like, the conservation behind it too. Like, this is what pisses me off is DNRs, like or Game and Fish or whatever your state is. Like, how they just quickly rule it out. No, illegal. Like, they're working for we the people.
Yeah.
Or they should be working for we the people and the sportsmen.
I know you get, and I know you hate I know you get the reasons why they don't want them. And I know you absolutely hate the people that would use them for those reasons, whether it is, using a drone to find a deer and go shoot them and hunt them. And I mean, just unfair ways of hunting, just terrible ethics.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, there's laws on all kinds of stuff. I got thermal scopes. I could go shoot any deer I want to any night of the week.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it's like you have to – that's why there's laws on that stuff, right?
Yep.
That is why there's laws on that stuff. So I could be wrong when I say this, but from what I've heard, you can't hunt – in a lot of places, you can't hunt big game or waterfowl after riding in a plane or a helicopter or some kind of flight for scouting.
Yeah.
You have to give it 24 hours.
Yeah.
I see like, why couldn't they put that same law in effect on drones?
For drones, yeah.
But I think this is my theory. You know how one day I told you, I said, the rich man grow it, the poor man pour it. The rich man will plant cornfields in all these Midwest states, come in, mow it. But the poor people that can't afford all the farming equipment to do such a thing can't buy bagged corn because they made it illegal to bake. But you can grow corn and mow it.
Yeah.
I think it's the same way when it boils down to the drones, that they're going to get affordable enough to where a lot of people have them. And at the end of the day, it's just like, it seems like the poor people just get wrecked.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, what's keeping me from going up in a helicopter and scouting with my thermal binocular?
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Dude, that's so true.
and would that be illegal? It's not a drone. You want to outlaw drones?
Yeah.
It's like rich people could go and do that.
Yep,
No
exactly.
issue at all.
Yeah.
And it would work.
Yep.
It
It's
would
such a good
100%
point.
work.
And it's just money, right?
Yep.
Like if you have the money.
The drones have made it affordable.
Yep.
And that's why they're putting so many laws on it.
Yep. I couldn't agree more with you. So we talked about this on another podcast, and we'll talk about it again, is so they just throw it all into one category. That it's part of the hunt.
Yep.
Recovery is part of the hunt. That's what the states. I don't have the literature in front of me exactly, but you know what? That doesn't make sense about that. If recovery is part of the hunt, then why are you allowed to recover when the sun sets?
Oh,
no,
when the sun sets. I get that. Yeah.
You can't hunt deer after 30 minutes after sunset. Think about it.
So it's not a part of the hunt. That is the end all be all right
not
there,
part of
dude.
the
I
hunt.
never thought about that.
Yeah, so it's
The sunset just says it all.
Yeah, so you can
Dang.
go recover your carcass when the sun sets if you're using a flashlight. You're telling me that's not part of the hunt, but then I use my drone at night to go look for it. Now it's part of the hunt?
Yep.
No, you're not making no sense. So you can't have it two ways.
Yep.
It's one or the other. So
I think a lot of the states, they need to sit down, figure out their laws, figure out their restrictions. But you cannot come in and outlaw drones like that,
right
dude.
Well, you can't just do
can't.
that. You can't just have write your own law right like that one day. No, it doesn't work like that. So basically, Illinois, like we have been on them, like. Then they say, well, we see no reason to change it. No, you do have to change it. Because if I come out there to Illinois with my attorney, he's going to laugh at you because we're going to beat you in the court of law. Because you get taken to court based on the laws that are written, not based on how you want to interpret it. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't throw it all into one pot. Okay?
You can't.
When these laws were written, they were not written with the idea that this technology is going to become what it is.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, it's that simple. So just come around to it and write a good law. Don't just be like, can't do it. No, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah.
One day we're going to do a podcast about turkey season 2022 or 2023.
Oh, when we went turkey hunting. Yeah, that was wild. I had no idea like about turkey hunting, and you took me turkey hunting. It was fun, but dude, I showed you a picture of some gobblers. Are we gonna go get those things?
I am telling you, it's gonna be a murder fest.
Yeah.
This turkey season when we come back here.
And you won't shoot a Jake. You said you never shot a goblin Jake.
Never shot a Jake before, and that Jake came in goblin. Never seen a goblin Jake before, and now it was my ignorance. I didn't know. In North Carolina, it's just something I've never seen. And a lot of people, in North Carolina, I feel like we just don't see that.
Yeah.
You come up here and Jake's gobbling like a full-grown bird, and I was just like, "You're dead."
It was nuts. And then 20 minutes later, we went.
Got a big double beard.
Yeah,
we got Peter a bird.
That was wild.
And then the next morning we're flying out at 8 a.m. I was like, "Well, let's go back." And you're like, "Yeah." I mean, we're me and Peter tagged out, and I was like, "Well, you buy a tag, and we'll get you a bird before 7 a.m.
Yep.
Again, just lights out, killed a bird. I mean, just so easy. Taylor,
It
we're
was.
gonna have a good time this year.
Come up for that, but Mike,
Are you a big turkey hunter?
I love turkey.
Oh yeah.
Turkey hunting is so fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
What-
But I will say, of all the YouTubers that Braydon has introduced me to, he has given me the most stern warning about Mike and the time that we will have around Mike and not the lack of sleep that.
Yeah.
The lack of sleep's a big one.
Yeah.
Go, around Mike.
Oh, it is. You don't know. He could get a call in the next 30
Yeah,
minutes
well,
to some
I
of the
already
coolest.
got it. Yeah,
You already
I
got
got-
one?
yeah, I got a
Could have
call.
the coolest call.
Yeah.
And literally last time this happened, he got a call. This was during turkey season. This is right before we killed the turkeys. We got a call about a turtle.
Yeah, we did.
And
It was a tortoise.
we hopped in the airplane, flew to go find this tortoise.
Yep. Yep. That's
I mean,
true. Yeah.
and that was right when we got done chasing elk with trank darts.
Yep.
So how's the thermals on the tortoise?
We never
didn't-
found it.
Yeah, we never found it, but it showed up
Yeah,
2
dude.
weeks later.
Is that? I think it was a month later.
And it was minus, or not minus. It was below freezing, and a tortoise can't be.
Everything on the internet said that turtle was dead.
Yeah. Well, somebody brought it back. I'm convinced.
Yeah, somebody brought it back.
Somebody brought it back and put it in their backyard because they filed a police report.
Uh-huh.
And they were not about to sit in prison because they took somebody's tortoise. I believe they brought it back.
As
Who
quick,
knows? They probably seen the YouTube.
probably,
video. Yeah.
probably as quick as we can find a deer or something, a 55-pound tortoise.
But we also weren't
I
sure
can't move
that
that
if
fast.
But
If the
we-
thermals would,
yeah, if it had
held
thermals. But that was an interesting night. Yeah. So tonight I do think you'll get some sleep. You're going to be headed to
some
Iowa.
sleep.
Aren't you headed to?
We're
Iowa?
hopping in the truck and rolling 11 hours to Iowa tonight.
Doggone. Well,
Somebody's
I
sleeping in the truck, but somebody's staying up.
I should maybe join you. I got some buddies out there.
You
that
want to
are-
go?
I should think about it.
Think
but
about it. We'll go eat dinner.
There's a lot of other
think on
business
it.
stuff here that's
Dude, you got guys for that.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
last year, you were running it.
I
This
wouldn't-
year, you can step back a little bit.
We're not quite
Come
there.
on
We're
now.
gonna be there.
Come on.
At some point, but right now, so on thermal drones, I'm putting this in there because in 5 years, when I listen to this podcast, I believe that thermal drones will be like cell cams, be like trail cams. That almost
Really?
almost everybody that has a trail cam will have a thermal.
That's
drone.
a whole nother debate. You're talking about trail cams. You get sent live pictures to your
Yep.
phone.
Oh, dude, like this morning.
Oh.
What did I do?
You watched me shoot that deer live streamed from your trail cam.
You ever? Yep.
What the heck? We were sitting in the stand. This doe's walking around, and I'm just like, all right, well, here we go. Toom. I'm like, sweet,
Yep.
smoked her.
Yep.
I look down at my phone. You're sitting 500 yards away,
Yeah.
and I see Mike texting me. Mike, drone deer recovery. Sounded like a good shot, man. I was like, dude, what? And then he sent me the live feed, and I was like, oh my gosh.
So we were working. So when I was watching your doe before you shot it, I was like getting excited because I knew it's going to be close.
Yeah.
But like we want to do that with deer recovery, like where we have
Live stream deer
yep,
recovery.
live.
Gosh,
stream
that'd be
deer
so
recovery.
cool.
But right now, Elon's internet's not fast enough to
Yeah.
upload it to get high quality. It's like, what is it? Maybe like 480. But
Yeah.
so anyhow, that's something that might be coming. Live deer recoveries. You'll probably hop onto the website at some point. You'll be able to help hunters in North Carolina.
I
Hopefully.
hope so. I want
You
to
might-
go
You might
find
send
deer.
Taylor out doing it. But
And at the end of the day, I also want to say this. Mike isn't doing this for the money aspect. How much joy do you get out of being a part of somebody's recovery? Is that not so cool?
dude, do you need
So
it?
cool.
Yeah, totally cool. But you know what's even better now is helping guys like yourself and other people that want to do this to make money, and then hearing how much they're making.
The success.
Yeah, because like I'm already getting crap. Like guys are saying, like, how much are these guys really making that have jumped on board to do this, dude? That is so cool. Like hearing somebody like tell you, you wouldn't believe I made $10,000
Yep.
in 7 days. I'm like, no, I would. If you work your butt off, like
Yep.
you can do this.
It's almost like real estate. It's almost like a lot of things. Well, it is like a lot of things. there's not really a cap on how much you can make.
No, it's
it is
how
all
hard you
about
wanna work.
how hard you want to grind.
Yep, exactly.
You got a 3-month window to grind, baby. So
Yep.
you best
Yep.
get your bubbler and keep rolling.
Yeah, bubbler. Make sure to reach out to us, bubbler. No, that's exactly like the agricultural side. Oh my gosh, we could probably go all night. So we're
We
just
could.
gonna cut it off here. Taylor, you had said something you want to get into the ag. I got to teach you how to do agricultural drones. That would be wild.
We spotted a few. There's a good bit of ag down
Oh yeah.
in county, and we've seen some ag drones already made.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah, you seen the video I sent you?
Oh yeah.
Going
yeah.
in North Carolina, there goes somebody's flying an ag drone.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike!
Yeah, it's always Mike if there's a drone out there. Hey, sincerely, do appreciate you reaching out to me the very first time. I believe that you are a big part of how fast the channel has grown. I'm excited to see where it's going. I'm excited to see you put your own drone deer recovery video
pumped.
on the drone deer recovery channel.
I'm pumped.
When you do it, I'm super excited for it. I appreciate. What do you need?
Got a question.
Yeah. Oh boy. Here we go.
Your thoughts on federal government maybe changing laws on personal airspace?
I think you're onto
Really?
something. I think
Personal
I
airspace.
think you're onto something with airspace in general. So everybody has that question, like, well, can you fly across your neighbor's land?
Right now, it's what 400 feet.
Yeah.
We've got access to.
Yep.
Anybody has access.
Yep. So basically, you own the airspace up to your highest obstacle on your. So if
Seriously?
you have a 100-foot tree, you got the
100-foot
airspace up
airspace.
to there. But above that is federal airspace. That's why airplanes and helicopters can fly wherever they want. Now there's restricted airspace, and you guys will learn about that if you go get your remote pilot's license. But for the most part, the airspace in America is pretty wide open.
Yeah.
So you can fly in a lot of areas. Is that going to change in the future? Could, but honestly, federal is so slow on changing things.
It'll take the right court case to make it up there.
Yeah, it would take a while. Like, it would be hard. Like, think about, like, when your airspace becomes your own airspace, like that's like, then could your cell phone shoot through your airspace, right? Like, because now they're sending signals through your airspace without giving you royalties. It's like drilling a well,
Endless.
and they're fracking. They have to give you royalties
Yeah.
if they're going underneath you. That's the same way. If you get into the airspace, it gets real dicey. So
I could believe it.
that's something we could get into, like, for sure. I like it. That was a good question.
thinking.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna end this one here. Again, thanks so much, Braydon. I'm excited. I appreciate your friendship, and I'm excited for it. Congratulations on asking your girlfriend to marry you, and she did say that, right?
What'd you say?
Yes.
There you go.
Nice. So, do you guys have a date already?
Like she's saying August 31st. As long as it's not in hunting season. As long as it's not in deer season and turkey season. I told her it could be in turkey season, but if I don't kill a turkey on
Then
on
as
the
it gets
morning
moved?
on the morning of the wedding, it's not happening. I'm gonna have to cancel it, replan it.
That'd be funny.
But looking like late August.
Cool. Well,
So-
good deal. I'm excited for you guys.
cool.
I remember when I got married. It's exciting, and I wish you guys the best. I appreciate it, and I hope you get a big one in Iowa.
Dude,
We're
I
out.
appreciate everything that you do for me, man. Dude, honestly, like there's like 5 trips that I've done in my life that I'm like, nobody else, like just telling the story, no one's gonna believe you. I think last year was number 1. This one might be going to number 2, dude.
Cool. I appreciate it.
It's been crazy. It's been wild.
It's
There
been
you
wild.
go.
There it is. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one.